Hello, beautiful people. Martini here. I am gonna walk around and talk to you for a little bit. I have begun today is day one of a 28-day posting challenge. But between you and me, I want to do this for the perceivable future, as long as it feels true and good and aligned for me. I am in the kind of cloudy today, Baja, which is a gift. In the desert, it's so sunny all of the time. It's nice to experience the full spectrum of the weather that's available to us and have some shade. But the sun's still trying to poke out, that's for sure. But yeah, I joined this program, I'll hashtag it, Messengers. What does it mean to be a messenger? It would mean something different to all 8 billion people, but ultimately what it means to me is to just leave my fingerprint on the planet, to share my journey, my story, my truth, and ultimately that's what I'm committed to do. It's scary for me, something I've wanted to do for a very long time, ever since I made a big, bold move and chose to leave my religion that I was raised in behind at 17. And yeah, I've been on such a beautiful journey ever since. I've gotten to meet so much more of myself, and I realize that there's still so much opportunity for me to continue to leave parts of what I came into this life and got to experience behind that I feel no longer serves me, or ultimately isn't true and aligned to who I am and who I want to be going forward. And so these 28 days will be beautiful and vulnerable, and I'll share more than I've ever shared because I feel ready. I also want to demystify a little bit of what coaching is and teach a little bit by example and show what's available in the world of fully choosing you. So this is me showing up, fully choosing me, because I've realized more than I wanted to admit, part of me stayed hiding because of the fear and the perceived pain of loss that I experienced when I left home at such a young age, and the fallout from my choice that I probably wasn't fully prepared for. Thank you for witnessing me on this journey and being a part of this. And I am committing this time above anything else just for myself. This is my gift to me for the next 28 days. Beyond that, maybe I'll think about you, crazy bastards. Just kidding. No, I want to share and educate and teach, but I also just, more than anything, want to authentically connect. And how do we do that? By just being ourselves and being seen. So here's me being me for 28 days. We'll see what comes up. I'm already up here talking, so I might as well just stay on the little roll that I have. When I previously mentioned, more than I wanted to realize, I was staying hiding. And what I mean by that is, and I actually am a part of so many beautiful communities online where they've really created beautiful safe spaces for people to show up and share and just talk about the things that maybe they've held inside their whole lives up until that point, and to really also have beautiful resources and content to reference and reflect on their own perspectives and to choose new perspectives likewise. So it's maybe not just saying the story the same way that it's always been shared, years after years of being stuck in one's own head. And so on one of these calls, I had a really big awareness that on some level I know I've had before, but going back to what I was sharing about choosing me and also leaving home at 17, there wasn't a lot of premeditation behind that move. It was quite spontaneous and quite reactive, but it was also me choosing in that moment, the best path forward that I knew was available to me at that time. We're always just doing the best that we can with the information that we have available. And for me at that moment, it was listening to my full body that was saying, leave and don't come back. And that was a beautiful, courageous, sacred choice for me to make at that age. And it came with, every action has an equal or opposite reaction. It came with some fallout that I definitely was not prepared for, in terms of the shunning and excommunication that came as a result, and feeling that, ultimately there's what happens, but then I show up and I attach a meaning or a story to it. Sometimes we do this consciously, but what I've realized is it's the kind of unconscious stories that hold the most weight, and that can stay hidden and like lurking in the dark, and you don't even really know they're there. And so after that experience, I went on with my life. But as soon as I go to step into my next fullness, my next bigness as Martina, whatever this unresolved story or that I created, whatever that is really going to come to the surface, and I get to witness that. And so what this challenge is bringing up for me is ultimately this idea that, whoa, if I show up fully as me again, does that mean that I'm going to lose everything? That's the unconscious story. If I'm fully me, I'll be rejected. And this is universal, guys. Like, every single person to some level feels a fear of abandonment, because we've been tribal beings, and, we performed for mom and dad to, be who we thought they wanted us to be, good little boys and girls to receive love. And that's just the unconscious conditional relationships we all had. So I recognize the deep fear that's in me is related to something nearly 15 years ago now. And of course, now the flies want to follow me. When it rains here, the bugs go crazy. But yeah, the bugs took me down, and it's starting to rain, so I'll be quick. What I was just sharing was that I get to be with what comes up. And honestly, what has been coming up is this 17-year-old version of me. And I get to choose if I'm going to let her continue to drive and run the show of my life and write this narrative that for her is super real. But I get to also say, no, I'm this new version of myself. I know that my worth and my belonging and my acceptance are inherent. They're not connected to an external world of validation from any person, any group, anything like that. It's me with me, and me showing up in this way is an example that we can be everything for ourselves in this deeply rooted way that maybe we just never even had the awareness that perspective was available to us. The rain! Anyways, that's my cue to cut this off. I love the rain. It's so beautiful. It's just a nice sprinkle anyways. But yeah, so here's me really wanting to just lead by example and lead by truth. There's not a single person out there that isn't still on the journey and on the path. No matter how far you may perceive that they've made it in comparison to you, they'll still have their stuff. And that knowingness is what's ultimately given me the courage to just show up and be myself. Because I don't know if I even really came here to be a finished product. I want to always be learning and growing and evolving. And that happens by meeting these edges. And, it's not about completing the 28 days. Choosing a goal to go after is not about the outcome. It's just about the parts of us that we get to meet along the journey and on the path. And so this is my commitment to being on the path. The path is a beautiful place if you have a few insights and awarenesses to keep yourself tethered to something that ultimately is untetherable. We like to perceive that we've got all of these safety nets and ways to control reality to make ourselves feel safe. That's not the way it works, guys, just saying. No, it's all good. The safety net is you. That's what I'm getting at. It's nothing outside of you. So much love, and much love to little Martina for the true fear and shame and confusion and everything that she went through. But this is my declaration that I'm not 17-year-old Martina today. I'm this version of me with so much more power, so much more resources from within, that there's really nothing that I can't take on. There's no challenge too big, because it's not about what the challenge is, it's about how am I being with myself as I walk that path. Here's me doing my best to be an example of walking the path alongside of yourself, doing the scary things, and then just bringing compassion along the way and still choosing to take action. Love you guys.